Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Manahil Remarj of Bali and I'm delighted to be here with all of you today. Today we have a very special guest with us, someone who has made significant contribution in her field and has a unique life journey to share. Please join me in welcoming Ma'am Diana. Ma'am Diana, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Welcome ma'am. How are you?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this space. I'm very, very honored to be here with you today. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. So, ma'am, first of all, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Diana, and I live in Hamburg, which is in the northern part of Germany. And as you can see, I'm sitting behind a very, very big tree at the moment. I show you. It's an old oak. I have my two dogs with me. And what I actually do is I dedicate all of it, my love and my network, to create opportunities for people across the planet, especially for young kids. And I'm also very concentrated how to create healthy soil on this planet. If we have healthy soil, we have healthy food, we have healthy people, and we have a healthy planet. There in the back, actually, there you can see my small dog. So I'm very much dedicated to the health of the planet and its people.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your introduction. So, now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. Can you tell us about your current role at Promise Hub and what your responsibilities entail?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So my current role at Promise Hub is I'm a co-founder. I was a managing director when we started, and now I'm advisor. So would you like me to share a little bit about the story of Promise Hub?
Yes.
Okay. It's a beautiful story. So when we had the so-called European refugee crisis, which was in 2016, right? We had many people who were forced to leave their homes because of war and persecution. I'm sure you are aware of that. So, and we had many, many people, displaced people here in my hometown in Hamburg, and they were all seeking medical advice. And the problem was that, of course, all of the people who came here, they were mostly from Syria, and none of the doctors here, they were speaking their language. So what we did is we invented like a medical container solution for all the people seeking medical advice. And what we implemented is an online translation service in this medical container solution. When you enter this as a person, especially as a woman or as a young kid, and we were able to connect you with somebody who speaks your mother language within 30 seconds. And that was a game changer, right? Because you could suddenly really share what is burdening you or where do you have pain in your body. And one of these solutions we also implemented in Lebanon, in one of the biggest refugee settlements in Bekaa Valley. And there we received a handwritten letter by a young Syrian girl. And her letter actually was about her working every single day in the agricultural sector in order to pay the landlord from whom they rented a really shabby tent. And in this letter, she promised within her name is Waid, and that means translated promise, that she will not carry the label of being a refugee forever. And there was a call for dignity, and that's really, this letter touched all of us very deeply, that we were thinking, so what else could we do actually to collaborate with people in very vulnerable areas around the planet? And that's how we start Promise Hub. So Promise Hub is dedicated to this young girl who wrote this letter to us. And we implemented the first Promise Hub in the oldest refugee settlement of Africa. It's the Nakivale refugee settlement. It got already established in 1958, and currently it hosts 150,000 people from 6 different nations. So what we do is with the Promise Hub there is we work with young people and create digital opportunities, but also create local job opportunities. And we started in 2017, and the project itself is still alive and thriving. So, and I'm super happy about this. Very, very happy.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your story. So now let's move on to next questions. My next question is, how has your experience at AMLOVE contributed to your skill set and career development?
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful question. So, I owe basically actually all of my job opportunities, I owe them all to the MLOVE network, right? These are very close friends of mine, and we established some kind of family feeling over the last, let me think, 14 years. And it's a very close network of like minded and like hearted people. And so we are doing a conference or a small gathering every year, and at the beginning, it was about mobile technologies, like this device we are using now, and how it impacts us as an individual, but also how it impacts the entire society. And then over the years, we moved more and more to the topic of meaning and purpose. How can we actually foster and cultivate meaning and purpose within ourselves, but also, more importantly, within our communities? So this network is very, very beautiful and very supportive. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to like job opportunities, I learned that for me it always works best if I can work with people who already know me or somebody recommends me, right? Then it's easier instead of just sending, I don't know, an application to somebody a stranger. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, what was your role at the notable experiences during your time at the British Museum?
Okay, so what do you know about the British Museum?
Your notable experiences during your time at the museum.
Okay, exactly. But what do you know about the British Museum?
Okay, I don't know how it's look like museum. So tell me about this museum. What things are there?
Okay, have you ever been to a museum?
Yes. No,
Great. Okay. No,
no.
no, no museum. Okay, my dear. Okay. So this museum, the British Museum in London, it's a very big museum. It's currently, I think it has 36,000 square meters, right? It's really, really big. Like 1,500 people work there every single day, and it has 6 million visitors per year. So it's really big. I don't know, how big is the city you live in or the village? Where do you live?
I live in Karachi, and Karachi is very big city.
How big is it?
I don't know, but Karachi is a very big city.
Okay, let's learn how big Karachi is, right? Okay, so what I was doing at this museum is I was working together with a team, and we were dedicated to improve the visitor experience. So we wanted to ensure that each visitor, no matter how little or young they are or how old they are, that they all have a great experience. And because also many of the visitors, they come from different countries, different languages, different cultures, right? And you also have this big building you need to manage. You need to manage a beautiful visitor flow that you don't create any bottlenecks. So what we did is we worked together with a team of 60 employees of the entire museum, and we were envisioning the greatest visitor experience in a museum on this planet you can imagine. And this whole process took us almost 1 year. And after these 12 months, we came up with a plan how to improve the overall visitor experience for the next 10 years. And the beauty of this process is we call it a visitor journey, is we put ourselves into the shoes of our visitors, right? And then we defined how is the pre-visit experience before you actually go to the entire museum. Many things are happening beforehand. How is your experience during the visit, and what happens post-visit, after the visit? So we went through all these different touch points, and from there we defined the greatest visitor experience. And then we looked at the reality. Where are the gaps? Where we don't meet these visitor expectations? And from there, we derived a strategy how to step by step close these gaps in order to meet this great visitor experience we have predefined. And that was very powerful.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question is, what do you enjoy about most about living in Sankt Pauli, Hamburg, Germany?
Okay, so I mean, what I really enjoy in Hamburg is Hamburg has around, I think, 2.3 million citizens in the city. And it's a very, very green city, right? So I'm here in this beautiful old park, and it has a beach, it has a big river, and the people here are very understatement, which is really nice. So, and you have all of these small districts in the city, and each district is like a small village, and I enjoy that very much. So it's of course it's very secure, it's very peaceful, but most of all, I love to be in nature, and that's very possible even within the city, to sit in a park like this and to really enjoy solitude and peace.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question is, how has your location influenced your personal and professional life?
Tremendously. So, I mean, with our current project, it's called Motherland. So we are now working in Kenya. It's in Africa. So Africa has 54 countries, and it's also the youngest continent on this planet, right? You have an average of very young people, a majority of very young people on this continent. And my experience in Africa has just really reshaped my entire being. And what I love so much is the young people we work with is, no matter how challenging the circumstances are, um, they're very, very smart people, super smart and talented people, but they lack access to opportunity. So, and they have really inspired and impacted me so deeply, um, in terms of resilience, right? And hope. And what does it really mean if you have a community, right? Like in the Western world where I live, I'm sure it's different at your place. It's like everybody is just circling about themselves. They have a very isolated and individualistic worldview. If you go to Africa, you have like this community spirit, right? Everybody takes care of each other because they know we can only strive if we strive together. And that has really impacted me profoundly. Yeah, location, culture plays a big role.
Yes, you're right, great. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, can you share any key accomplishments or projects you are proud of from your career journey so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking this. So at the moment we are with Motherland in Kenya, and I'm very, very proud that we are collaborating at the moment with 600 small farmers. and also with 180 children and youth. And what we do is together we learn everything about regenerative agriculture and what does it mean to replenish and re-nurture the soil and to create local thriving ecosystems. I'm very proud of all of these farmers and of the kids, but most of all, I'm very proud of our team in Kenya. It's a very young, dedicated group of people who move this entire project on a daily basis to the next level. I'm super proud of them. Yeah, and it inspires me a lot. Their dedication and leap and faith, deeply inspired by their spirit. Yeah.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your answer. So, outside of your work, do you have any hobbies or interests that you are passionate about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sitting in front of one, right? So, trees are my big passion. Nature is my big passion. Being outside in nature with my doggies, I do this every single day. It's my passion and it's also my hobby. And besides that, I love reading and learning new things and also talking to new people, right? We all need each other and we all inspire each other. So these are the things I'm very passionate about. And I love to cook.
All right, great. Your hobbies are very, very wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is: are there any culture aspects or local activities you particularly appreciate in Hamburg?
Yeah, I mean, so what is great, right? So we have many museums, we have exhibitions, we have a beautiful culinary scene. We have plenty of farmers around Hamburg where you can get fresh organic grown food. You can even participate in the planting and in the harvesting. And we also have beautiful dance clubs where you can go dancing. And that's very beautiful. So, everything from dance, theater, museums, live performances, food, it's really all in this city. It's very beautiful. And of course, you have the beautiful river, right? You can cruise on the river with a tourist boat and get to know the harbor by boat. It's very fascinating. I really love it here.
Great. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, how do you maintain work-life balance and well-being with your busy schedule?
Look at me, right? I'm doing an interview while I'm sitting outside in nature. So I do yoga, right? What I also do is every evening before I go to bed, I have a book and a pen. I actually have it with me. 1 second. Um, I can show you. So, wait. This is my book. I write in there every single day. And what it does is, you can see my handwriting here, right? So every day before I go to bed, I sit down and I write down all the things I'm grateful for. And this really helps me a lot to concentrate on the positive aspects of my life. It could be anything from having air, having water, having great friends, walking with the doggies, whatever it is, right? And the more I write, the more actually gratitude shows up, right? And I practice this every single day. Yeah.
All right, awesome. That's wonderful. So, in the fast world of technology and culture, how do you stay updated and adapt to changes in your industry?
Interesting. So, I'm always open to learn new things and I'm trying to connect with diverse people, right? I love to connect with you, for example, because you're very young. and you have a totally different perspective on what's happening than I potentially have. So I always try to open up myself to new people and new experiences. And one of the sources I rely on are recommendations of my friends, right? If they have interesting updates or if they come across new developments in the sector we work in, I really appreciate it. So I trust them more than I trust any random insight or report, let's say on LinkedIn, right? So I follow recommendations basically. Like you got recommended by Rehan. I trust Rehan, so I trust you. And that's how I actually operate. It's trust based.
Yes, thank you for trusting me. So now let's move on to next question. So my next question is: are there any causes or initiatives that you actively support or engage with in your free time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there are few projects, actually many to be honest, where I collaborate with young people in Uganda. um, many of them have a displaced background, so and they have like different projects running, like it's all about social entrepreneurship. So I try to support them with my advice. Sometimes I share a little bit seed funding, right, so that they can really bring their endeavor and project to the next level. So and there are different ones. So at the moment, I'm very happy to collaborate with a young man from Kampala. It's the capital of Uganda, and his name is Manu. He is now 23 years old. He had to flee his country, which is the Democratic Republic of Congo, many years ago. And what we do together is we design necklaces. He does them, right? I have one here with me. Wait, it's here. Can you see it? So it's made of used plastic, right? A used paper. It's collected, and then it's put on kitenge, which is a very famous African fabric. And he designs these necklaces in the colors of the 70 SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And then we actually starting now to sell them on an online marketplace, or we sell them to friends. And it's a beautiful project because what he does is he has no salary at all, right? And he puts so much of his time into the uplift of very, very vulnerable children in the ghetto of Kampala. He does yoga classes, he does dance classes, he does non-violent communication with them, and he basically takes care of plenty of young children in his community. And I think he just has no access to any kind of job opportunity, right? So that's how we came up with this amazing idea, and hopefully it's going to strive. Let's see. Yeah, so I support this very much.
All right, great. So, what advice would you give to others looking to work life abroad?
That's an interesting question, right? I mean, we all deserve to gather as many experiences as possible, all of us. So, if you want to work abroad, I think what I said before, I think it's great to already have some kind of personal, private connections to the country, and then really take it from there. Absolutely. And then you can also go through all the different job platforms and try to apply for a job. But nowadays you also have, and what you are trying to achieve is amazing with the Rehan School, right? To have these kind of remote workers, it's amazing. But first of all, I think it's always great to have a private personal connection into the country you would like to work at. Yeah. And you can ask your network, right? Do you know somebody in Australia? Wait, there's an airplane coming. 1 second. It's getting really loud now. Okay, I'm back. It just flew above me.
All right. That's wonderful talk to you. Thank you so much for your advice. And thank you so much for sharing your inspiring journey and insight with us today. It has been a privilege to have you as our guest. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us for this insightful conversation. We hope you found it as enriching as we did. So, once again, ma'am, thank you for your time and valuable insight. We wish you continued success in all your endeavors. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Can I also say something?
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you so, so much for hosting me. I really appreciate this. And is there anything I can do to support your mission?
yes.
Okay. What is it?
I am on mission to help every graduate in Pakistan earn minimum $500 per month through remote job.
Okay. And how can I help you? Not how can I help you? I don't want to help you. I want to collaborate with you. How can I collaborate with you?
You can collaborate with me. Do you know some people who can gives a job?
Let me think about it. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
When
let
you
me.
when you know, so you can tell me.
I will. Do you have anything you can share with me? Do you have like a presentation, like an introduction to what you are doing? Could you send it to me?
Yes.
Okay, so send it to me, and then I'm going to share it with our network.
Sure. Thank you so
Okay.
much. It's my
And wait, don't stop now. I would also like to interview you.
sure.
Okay, can we arrange something?
Uh, it's depend on you.
Okay, amazing. We keep in touch via WhatsApp, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. What time is it now in Karachi?
6:40.
6:40 in the evening.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's not too bad. Okay, thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
To our viewers, stay tuned for more inspiring interviews and discussions. Until next time, take care and goodbye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Angel. Bye. Bye bye.